Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to iHeart Sports. Opening day, it's done, it's over, the weekend's done. I haven't had a chance to do a wrap-up video with it being Easter long weekend. It's been tough to get these videos. This video is actually not coming out quite on time. With Easter Monday, the games are starting early, 10 a.m. my time, so I'm here Monday morning trying to crush these out. Had to do some quick looks, and to me, I think they're doing some changes with the schedule because there is some weird breaks in between on series. I know I've read some things about that being a little bit different, but I'm really starting to see it when I'm getting ready for these previews. We got a couple 2-game series, a couple 3-game series. I don't think there's any 4-game series, but like some teams have Fridays off, which typically to me was a 15-game day every week, so to see that is a little bit interesting for me. It might just be early in the year, I'm not quite sure, but let's jump into it. We got 15 series to break down, most of them starting Monday. I think 1 or 2 of them starting tomorrow, but these are the ones that are going to be kind of going through the week. I might do the next one on Thursday, as some series kick off on Thursday for the weekend again, which is something that's kind of weird, but yeah, let's jump into it. They're in no particular order, even though I'm a Jays fan and it's top one. It's just kind of the way I grab them and things like that. So we're going to jump into that. White Sox going into Toronto for a 3-game set. We have Lopez, Ronaldo versus Jaime Garcia, new Jay pitcher, new Chicago White Sox pitcher, really. They picked him up last year at trades. But this is going to be a pretty good series, I think. Chicago coming off their winning series against Kansas with their last game being rained out or cold weather. But they're really going to see where Chicago is going to be sitting in the American League. Jays kind of did what I was hoping they would do, split the series with the Yankees. So for the Jays to want to compete in the East, they're going to have to take this series from Chicago and teams like this. So with game 1 going on Easter Monday, Garcia, Lopez I already talked about. Then we go on to Miguel Gonzalez versus J.A. Happ. Happ lost his first game, and this is going to be Gonzalez's first game of the year, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch him. Can be a hit-and-miss pitcher, so with the way the Jays have been in the first series, they're leading the league in strikeouts already. They've been high on strikeouts for past years too, so it's no real surprise. But we'll see how they go going through this. In Game 3, we got Fulmer versus Aaron Sanchez. This very well could be either the rubber match or possibly the Jays going for a sweep. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I expect the Jays to take this one 2-1. Next game, we got Boston. They're going into Miami. This is only a 2-game set. So first game, 2 fifth rotation starters because they both played 4 games over the weekends. And actually Miami came out pretty surprisingly. Their offense did fairly well considering the Chicago Cubs pitching. I'm going to hopefully jump into that. I'm going to do a breakdown video, so we'll do that. But first game, we got the both 5th starters, Brian Johnson, Trevor Richards. Haven't really seen any of these guys pitch, so I don't know what to expect. Probably going to check out a little bit of this game because it's 2 guys I don't know anything about. So sorry, I can't really give you too much on that. But with 5th round stars, you would really expect to see a little bit more of a high scoring game, but who really knows. And in game number 2, you got Sale going up against Urena. Urena got crushed his first game. Sale was lights out, but didn't pick up the win as the Boston Red Sox blew that game. So really, depending on this first game, Boston hasn't shown huge offense over their series with Tampa Bay, but Miami, it's Miami. It's their 5th pitcher being Trevor Richards. I really just kind of expect Boston to go 2-0 in this series. Third series we got up here, we got Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds. Chicago Cubs coming off a 4-game set. The Reds coming off their 3-game set with the Nationals. The Reds, they really got it put to them Not really fair because they're going up against the Nationals, who had Scherzer, Strasburg the first 2 games, so that was kind of like free wins for the Nationals. I know there's no free wins in baseball, but it's as close as it's going to get. In this series, you got another 2-game set. Tyler Chatwood making his debut as a Cub. I'm really excited to see that. He's going up against Mallet, who is not a very good pitcher from his numbers over the past couple of years. But Reds really hoping to get their first win of the season going. It's not really nice. The schedule makers weren't very nice on the Reds to open off the season with the Nationals and the Cubs back to back. But luckily, they only got 2 games, but they're going to be seeing a lot of the Cubs this year. So really tough to see. Really tough to see the Cincinnati pulling out a win here. Lester's coming in Game 2 against Reed. Not a great, fair matchup. Cubs kind of have the advantage here, and I expect Vegas to kind of follow the same way. But yeah, I'm predicting the Cubs to take the 2. Sorry, Cincinnati, I don't think you're going to get your win yet, but considering how the Cubs played in their season opening series, you never know. Miami split it with them, so you can always see some offense coming here. But Lester's really going to be looking to turn his first start around and show him what he's capable of. Next series, I guess, we got Philly going into the Mets. Philly coming off a series loss, Mets coming off a series win. Interdivision match, but this is going to be I think a pretty good series. The Mets on paper have the advantage, but Philly, they kind of showed that they can have some fight, definitely when they were playing Atlanta. That last game they kind of got blown out, but they can definitely have something going forward here. Lively versus Harvey, Game 1. Harvey is who I'm excited to look at here. Coming off some injury-prone seasons, a little rough seasons. He's supposed to, that year they shut him down in the playoffs is kind of what we're hoping Harvey is going to come back to be. That's what Mets fans are hoping. That's what we all want to see. We want to see people at their best. So I'm excited to see how Harvey's going to come out this year. Not expecting anything, but just here for the ride. Game 2, Nola versus Lugo. This is probably Philly's best shot at winning. Nola is kind of in some controversy because he only, I think, pitched around 70 pitches in his first start before he was pulled. They were leading, and then the bullpen ended up blowing it. So maybe the manager figured it out. Don't pull your best pitcher, but Nola's always been one of those that doesn't really go super deep. So if the Mets can get to him early, they have a great shot at this series. Let's be honest. Last game they got Syndergaard going up against Pivetta. Pivetta actually did okay in his opener against Atlanta, but it's Syndergaard. Kind of put a check mark. There's a win for the Mets on that one. That's what you expect. So really, you expect the Mets to win the series 2-1, maybe a sweep. So that's what I'm seeing on this one. Moving on to Brew Crew versus the Cardinals. Cardinals coming into Milwaukee following a disappointing series probably for them. They had some tough matchups with their pitchers against the Mets, but they want to get back in the thick of it. The Central had some great starts from some teams. They're going into an inter-Central matchup here against the Brew Crew. So this is where I'm uncertain about the Cardinals because they have 2 pitchers early in the series that I'm not sure about. McCollis and Flaherty. I'm not sure what to think of them. Haven't seen them pitch, and they're definitely new names for me. So I'm not sure. I haven't done too much research looking at that. I like to do the eye test, post on much. So the Brew Crew, they're sending Davies and Anderson in their first 2. I gotta admit, I was shocked to see Anderson already, and then I realized and did some look into it. The Brew Crew are going with a 4-man rotation, which is kind of unheard of at this point in the season, and it seems to be they're going with sabermetrics or something like that. I kind of did some scouting ahead, and they're going to 4-man this rotation, but they're adding a 5th person, Wolfenden or something like that, on the 5th end of this. I don't know. It's strange, but I'm gonna keep an eye on this. The only one that I can kind of see the Cardinals. This is probably going to be a really good series. Martinez and Chacin face off in the last game, 3-game set. So Martinez hoping to bounce back from his kind of disastrous performance against the Mets on opening day. Moving on, we got the Orioles visiting the Astros. I don't know really much what to say on this one. The Orioles put up a dud performance against Minnesota. They won the first game, but after that, wow. Barrios really did great against them, but going into Houston, like, how do you expect them to do any better than they did against Minnesota? Houston's throwing out Morton on game 1, Verlander on game 2, Keuchel on game 3. Morton's probably their best bet, but he's a K pitcher. The Orioles like to K, so this is going to be a tough one for them all around. They got Tillman game 1, Wright Jr. game 2. Don't really recognize him. He's their 5th pitcher, I assume, and then back to Bundy for game 3. If I'm going to guess, even though I just said Morton was their best chance, I'm going to say Bundy versus Keuchel, game 3 is probably going to be their best chance at a win here. But this Astros offense, and they showed when they played against Texas, is just crazy good. I forget what they put up the first game, but they were putting up runs the last 2 games, and there's 4 game sets. So yeah, the offense on this team is just going to be the tough one. They're definitely putting up the reason of why they won the World Series last year, and this team is still together, and they're still performing at a high pace. So that's interesting to see how this one's going to go, but I really expect the O's to sweep. I know predicting a sweep, it's hard, but 2-1 at the worst. Last game I got here on this board, we got the Royals going into the Tigers. Royals only got 2 games of the first series out of the way, so they're coming in the Tigers, who also had some rain delay issues and stuff like that with their first game, but they actually played a doubleheader on the weekend, so they got their series in. Jason Hamill versus Liriano, game number 1. I think this could be a good game. Liriano and Hamill, both pitchers going down in their career, but on weak teams. But it makes for a fair matchup, I think, in this one. So this could be a really close series, considering both these teams are interdivisional and, let's just say, on the weaker side of the league. Junis versus Boyd, game number 2. I'm always excited to watch Boyd as next Blue Jay. Just seeing how he does. It could be really good. Junis, haven't seen much of him. I know he's been in the league a little bit, but hoping to kind of see what kind of stuff he has. And then we got game number 3. We got Danny Duffy versus Daniel Norris. Again, another ex-Blue Jay that I like to watch. Danny Duffy is probably the Royals' best pitcher. So that's probably going to be the most exciting game of this series. Or even game 1, Liriano and Hamill. So this is, for non-baseball fans, this is probably a pretty boring series. But for someone that likes close games, competition, I'm really going to have my eye on this one, kind of seeing... This one's going to be like the battle of the central middle ground basement kind of thing. So kind of excited to see that and that. So let's get the rest of the series up on this board here. All right, and we're into the last set of games here. By set, I mean the last half, really. We'll start off at the top here. We got the Mariners and the San Francisco Giants. Both teams, I think, are coming out with being pretty happy after their first series. Giants really took 2 from the Dodgers, so that's good for them. Their offense was a little struggling. Mariners took 2 and won the series from the Indians, so I think they're definitely going to be happy with that. Going into this one, it's only a little quick 2-game set. Interleague play here with the Giants at home, so pitcher is definitely going to be batting. Gonzalez versus Block. Block coming off his big win against Kershaw for the Giants, so I'm interested to see if he can keep it up. He shut the Dodgers out in his first start. It'll be interesting to see on this one. Mariners are going to have to be going forward. Nelson Cruz kind of is day-to-day. I think it's to do with his knee or his quad or something like that, so they're going to have to start off the season without one of their best hitters, but Mitch Hanigan moving up in the lineup, taking over for Cruz. So I don't expect to see too much of that, but we'll see. I expect the Mariners. This is probably going to be a split. Hernandez versus Cueto game 2. That's going to be the big game. Two great pitchers. Hernandez had a pretty great first game. Cueto also very good first game. So it'll be interesting to see. For me, the higher chance likelihood of sweep probably goes to the Mariners, but I'm not going to count the Giants out on this one. Next game up here, Rays Yankees. It's tough to see what's going here. That we're Monday day already, and first game's been postponed. Second game, they don't have any pitchers decided. So not until Wednesday where we see Snell going up against Severino. Good matchup. Severino had a great first game. Kane, all the Blue Jays he could. Snell also had a very good game. He got one of the wins for Tampa Bay. So it'll be interesting here. I expect the Yankees. I don't know how many games they're going to play. I think they're only going to play 2, and they're going to make up the postponed one later. So the Yankees definitely the favorite, opening up their season at home here. Their home season opener, blah. Yeah, you got me. But yeah, Stanton hit some home runs and some doubles in the season opener. The offense of the Yankees definitely looked pretty good. But they fell short in the last 2 games. So we'll see how they rebound against the Rays. I definitely expect some Yankee wins here. Next game, we got the Rockies going into San Diego. Padres, no real surprise. They weren't able to take anything from the Brewers. Now they face interdivisional matchup with the Rockies. It'll be a tough matchup for them. They have a 4-game set, so I expect the Padres to be able to steal at least one. Their dream here is to take 2. The Rockies are definitely a solid offense, and with the pitchers the Padres are going to be using, I expect them to have trouble taking anything more than 2 games from them. First matchup, we got Bettis versus Brian Mitchell. Brian Mitchell coming from the Yankees organization where he was a reliever for most of it, so I really expect this game the Rockies to take. They haven't decided who they're going to use tomorrow. The Padres haven't, but Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. Then they go back to the top of their list with Gray versus Richard, Anderson versus Lucchesi, who actually did pretty well in his first game. So with this, the big thing, I guess, there's some injuries already to both these guys. Ian Desmond's day-to-day. Will Myers also day-to-day. So both those guys losing a little bit of offense, whereas the Rockies have that rookie. Name isn't ringing a bell, but I'm sure I'll remember it soon because he's supposed to be taking Desmond's job. But yeah, I expect the Rockies this one 3-1. I'll give the Rockies 3-1 on this one. This is the next series here, the Indians versus the Angels. I'm really pumped for this one. I'm excited for the Angels all year. They've made such great moves that I don't know. I didn't really like the Angels before, but I'm starting to at least enjoy watching them. They have the trifactor. So I'm going to give them the edge in this series, but there's some pretty good matchups. We got Clevenger versus J.C. Ramirez, a battle of the lower rotation guys. Tomlin versus Richards. Garrett Richards coming in for a second start. So they're a little bit off. Garrett Richards is their number 1. Tomlin's the number 5. So that's a little bit of an interesting one, but do not count the Indians out on that one. That's probably going to be a close one, too. The last game, Kluber versus Skaggs, is going to be an interesting one. Skaggs had a great first game, and I've always had a man crush on this guy. He can get it done, and with the Angels making their improvements, I expect this team. This is going to be a great team to watch all year. Indians, already a great team to watch. There's not much more to say. They've been competing for the past 2 years pretty steadily. So this one, I'm giving the home field advantage to the Angels for a 2-1 series victory. Indians are going to want to try and get home. This West Coast ring, it's a tough way to start off your season. Seattle Angels, I haven't looked ahead to see who they play next, but hopefully they're flying home. But we all know there could be a chance for more Western games before they go home. Could be one more series. Have to look at that. But moving on, Rangers A's battle of the weaker Western AL teams. This one, I guess they're going to be seeing who's going to be in last place after this division, after this series is done. 2 or 4 games apiece. And honestly, look, well, my guess is it's hard to say. I'm going to give it a 2-2. It's probably going to be a split right down the middle. Cologne versus Triggs. Cologne, honestly, I was shocked to see his name. I thought he retired. But to see him back in here, I don't expect that to really help the Rangers. They had a rough first series. They were against the Stros. The Stros really put it to them, but that's kind of what you can expect. The fact that they took 1 game is probably pretty good for them. Hamels versus Graveman, that's probably one of the better matchups in this one. Hamels needs to rebound. He got kind of lit up by the Astros, so he's looking to have a bounce-back game. Graveman had a kind of rough game as well, so that they're both going to be looking to rebound. Game 3, we got Fister versus Manaea. Fister really impressed me in his first game. I was kind of shocked that he didn't get lit up the way I expected. I think he started the 1 game the Rangers managed to win against the Astros, so there's that. Manaea had a great first game as well, so this is probably another interesting matchup. Pretty good. Then in the last game, we got Perez versus Mengden. Perez coming off the DL, so he's going to be making his first start of the year. He's very a ground ball pitcher, so with this A's team, I'm not sure how they're going to do against him. So this one's going to be an interesting game or interesting series. But yeah, I have that at a split. Not much to talk about other than that. Don't really think any injuries or anything came forth. So we'll just move on to this another great series, Diamondbacks Dodgers. Dodgers had a disappointing first series against the Giants, having it split. But then we got the Diamondbacks, who were coming in off a winning series. So with Ryu Walker game 1, Kershaw's coming in after losing his first game off 1-0. He's coming in to face Zach Godley. And then the last game, rubber match, in my opinion, likely rubber match will be Wood versus Corbin, which to me is probably going to be a great matchup. 2 solid pitchers. Corbin really performed very well his first game. So I'm interested to see how he's going to do in his next game. Offense-wise, D-backs really showed they have an offense to be scared of. Top 4 of this lineup is deadly. And when they're facing right-handed pitchers with Jake Lamb moved up in the top, it's definitely an offense to be afraid of. Moving on, we got the Nationals and the Braves. Nationals coming in looking to keep their hot streak going. Rourke versus Newcomb, game number 1. A.J. Cole going for them, game number 2. And Scherzer, game number 3. The Braves haven't decided who they're going in the last 2 games of the series. I don't think they know yet who they want their 5th person to be in the rotation, but I do expect the 3rd game is probably going to be Tehran, since he did start for them game 1 of the year, and this would be their 6th game, unless they're going with a 6-man rotation, which, again, going back to the Braves, kind of unheard of thing to do, but they could. I expect Tehran to be going there. Braves coming off a stomping of the Phillies in their last game. They're going to look to continue against Rourke. Definitely possible. Rourke has some issues in the past, at least, and so we'll see. It's going to be an interesting series. I expect the Braves to at least take 1 here, being at home, and would not be shocked if they take 2. Scherzer. Braves have always been one of those teams that does well against star pitching. When there's Kershaw, when there's Scherzer, when there's Strasburg going to Turner Field, I'm never surprised when the Braves put up some runs. So I could definitely see a 2-1 Braves series here. And the last game, which I'm kind of surprised to say this one won't last, since it's actually one of the games that's already on and just started half an hour ago. We got the Twins and the Pirates. Lynn versus Taiwan going on right now. It's a 2-game series, and it's, like I was saying earlier, weird scheduling. They got a game Monday, a game Wednesday. No Tuesday game, day off, I guess, for both teams. But this game's already underway. The Pirates are actually already at 5-0 in the first, hitting a grand slam off Lynn. So I don't want to be a wizard and say, yeah, the Pirates they're going to kill this one, blah, blah, blah. Because going into this game, I was all over the Twins. I thought the Twins had the Pirates. I think the Pirates are going to just blow everyone's expectations away. I watched a lot of their first series because of the way the schedule worked. They were often the only game on, early game, late game, that they were the game on. So I did watch them. Their lineup is actually, I think, better than a lot of these teams that were expected to be behind them. So it will be no surprise to see the Pirates win this series. I'm saying that now when they got a 5-0 lead early in this first game, but game number 2, Odorizzi versus Nova, could be close. I expect low scoring here in that, but Twins, yeah, they had the O's, so it's hard to say. The O's did not look good. The Twins looked good for the most part, so we'll see where it goes. We're in the bottom side of the rotation here with Lynn, so maybe that has to do with it. But we won't see the top side of their, well, I guess Odorizzi's their ace, but we're not going to see the top side of this till later. But yeah, that pretty much breaks down all 15 series that you're going to see from Monday to Wednesday. Thursday, some of these games and series are being played, but there's also going to be some other series that kick off that day. But yeah, hoping to get the review video of the first series out next. I'm not sure whoever makes it to the end. I really appreciate you if you will drop a like, subscribe. Gonna be doing lots of these, hoping to start talking about more bats and stuff as we do the wrap-ups of series. When it comes to previewing baseball, it's a lot of pitching, because pitching is such the thing to look at when you're at the beginning of a series. So yeah, that pretty much breaks it down. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys again soon.